every single car you're selling, is it just another minimum commission? Every used car, there's no gross to be had? Well, what the fuck are we gonna do about it? Today, we're gonna talk about just that. I understand, and yes, it's very frustrating as a salesperson when you sell a vehicle and make minimum commission. I mean, heaven forbid that we actually do the math though and say, you know what, I was with these customers for 4 hours. Let's just say you're with them for 4 hours and you sold a vehicle and your minimum commission is $200. I don't know what you get, but let's just say it's $200 for some easy math that I could do while I'm driving my car. So you get a customer, and you spend 4 hours with them, which I think is a lot of time. You should be able to wrap it up before 4 hours, but let's just say you do it in 4 hours. $50 an hour. That's not terrible. That's $50 an hour that you got paid to sell those people a car. Okay? That's the first thing I want you to just start wrapping your head, that you actually got paid $50 an hour to deal with those customers, help them out, and sell them a car. Okay? But I'm still gonna agree with you. It's very fucking frustrating to sell a used car and make no money. I get it. But that's the nature of the business, because we're selling assets that are depreciating. And especially in the used car world, where you got a certain amount of time that these used cars have to rotate through the inventory and keep getting you fresh pieces, right? So I don't know whatever your turn rate at your dealership is, you should probably figure it out, but there's a good chance that it's 90 days is probably the mark. And hey, maybe 10 of those days it's going through the shop, going through detail. So in all reality, maybe you only got 80 days to sell that car. And every week that car loses just a little bit of value, even if it's like $200, and it loses a little bit of value, you know, in the dealership's mind. And eventually they're going to turn it over and they're going to replace it with some other inventory just because for whatever reason that vehicle didn't sell. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that frustrates me the most about a salesperson that complains about selling the $250, $200, $300, whatever your minimum commission is, okay? Here's what frustrates me the most. Is these people, and I've done it myself, and I probably think you probably have as well if you've been selling cars for a while, that you complain about other people not doing their job good enough to then make your job easier and give you the ability to make money. Let me say, okay, you don't know where the used cars are. You don't know where the fresh trades are at. You're thinking that they should just magically appear on the front line, be easy for you to find. And when they're not, you complain about the used car manager, the assistant used car manager, the lot attendant, whoever's involved in the process. You complain on them not getting to the front line, you know, getting pictures fast enough, or all this stuff, and you find reasons why you're not making the money that you're supposed to be making on these pre-owned cars. But shouldn't you know the inventory? Like, what if you showed up every single day and the first thing you did when you got there 20 minutes early, you got there 20 minutes early and you walked the entire lot and you figured out where all the trades are, what's going on with the fresh units that showed up, what's incoming, you know, and you start realizing all this and where they're at in the process, then maybe, just maybe, you'd actually sell more cars, you'd sell more of the fresh trades. And if we're honest, we all should understand, if we've been doing this business for long enough, we should all fully understand that most of the time when you go to the auction to buy a vehicle, okay, well, not most of the time, but some of the time, when you go to the auction to buy cars for the lot, it's to fill the lot. And you got all these other dealers bidding on the exact same cars to fill their lots. And the nicest pieces that you could probably get in inventory all come from trade-ins. They all come from the trade-ins that the dealership is doing. But as a salesperson, you don't even know where they're at and where they're at in the process. You might know that we took them in, but do you actually know where they're at? Where they're at in the process? I don't think so. Or you wouldn't be complaining. You'd be figuring out where they're at. But no, maybe you want your sales manager. We got to create you this special sheet, which, hey, let's make it easy. I'm okay with that. I'm in the process of doing that right now. But until we do that, until the used car manager, gets his stuff figured out and puts them where they're supposed to be, you can't do your job because everybody else is holding you back. I just don't understand why, as a professional salesperson, just take it in your own hands. I was always taught when I showed up to sell cars that it was basically I owned my own business. But the dealership provided me with the chair, the desk, the computer, and the inventory. And all I had to do was show up with a couple pins and run my business. But it doesn't seem like it's that way anymore. It seems like the salespeople show up, sit down, and they just expect it to come to us. And that's not how it works. Not in the tougher markets. It doesn't work like that. So tomorrow, what I want you to do is do it. Get in the habit of going around your lot and checking the inventory. Where is it at in the process? Go talk to service. Who's the used car guy in service? Who's the one that checks them out? Do you even know that mechanic's name? How often do you talk to him? He checks out all the pre-owned cars. I mean, think about that. If you had a daily conversation, even if it was 5 minutes, you had a daily conversation with them. How much better and more knowledgeable you'd be. And then you'd pass that information along to your customers. And then you knew, oh, you know what? This one's getting old. This one's about to go to auction. And then when somebody came in and wanted to negotiate on it, you actually had conviction in your voice to tell them, hey, you know what? This is pre-auction price. This one's about ready to go to auction. We have a 90-day turn right here at the dealership, which means we only hold cars for 90 days. And if they don't sell within 90 days, we don't try to figure out why they didn't sell. We just send them to auction and get new inventory. That way, when you go to the dealership's lot, there's new inventory always circling through every 90 days, always new. How much of that do you actually know? Do you know any of it? Do you talk to your sales manager about that? Do you talk to the used car team about that? Do you talk to the pre-owned tech that's going through the cars? Do you actually search your website every day and look through all the cars that are getting added to your website? Or is the only time you're on the website searching those is when you're looking for a certain car for a customer? You don't need a sales manager like myself. You don't need a used car manager. You don't need all that stuff to be successful. What you need is to stop being lazy and figure the business out. Figure it out. Everybody's busy. It's not like everybody's standing around doing nothing in these departments. They're busy. This business it takes everything to make it happen. But the people that complain the most are the ones that aren't doing anything. So start doing something. Learn about the used cars. Learn what's going on in the inventory. Learn what's going on in the market. Have a better understanding of how the used cars actually work. Don't just think that this one should be worth more and, oh, this one's underpriced. It's like, if it was that underpriced, you'd have, how many people would you have showing up at the door to buy that certain vehicle if it was that underpriced? You ever notice that? You ever notice that, like, we have a certain vehicle and we think that it's underpriced and then it never sells and then it finally sells and then you get that minimum commission 60, 80 days later and you finally sell it and then you're upset that it's a minimum commission. But do you realize that that's what it took to sell the vehicle in your market at your store? Was it to keep dropping the price to a certain price point? Who knows why? Maybe the photos were shitty. Maybe the listing wasn't that good. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why. Maybe somebody took it for a test drive and left garbage in it. Maybe it smells. But you as a salesperson, you don't even know that. Do you go out there and look at your inventory daily, open it up, making sure there's no garbage in your inventory? Because eventually you're going to sell it. When's the last time you went out and started the cars on the front line to make sure they weren't dead so you're not embarrassed when you go out there and sell them? Or are you just going to blame it on the used car team because it sat there for so long and never got started? Take accountability. There's just so much opportunity in this business. We just got to take advantage of it. We got to take responsibility and go seize it. Go seize the day, seize the moment. Take responsibility. It's like your own business. Okay? So stop worrying about the minimum commission on these used cars until you really fully understand what this business is all about and how it really operates. Okay? There's opportunity out there. You want to make some money on a pre-owned car, make sure you're knowing where the fresh trades and the fresh inventory are. Okay? And if you sell a minimum commission, sell it, move on, thank him for the business, thank your used car manager, thank your sales manager, thanks for the opportunity, get it in, get it done, sell some accessories, move on with your life. But don't complain. Just makes you sound like an idiot. Okay? Don't do that. All right, guys, come at you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to bring the fire. Okay? Every morning it's about the training. Every night it's about keeping it real. Talk to you guys later.